Hey, nice to see you again. Now, we've all heard the hype around IKEA's release of their new Matter devices. Affordable, accessible, and now that IKEA have finally launched in New Zealand and the products are more readily available, finally, they released in New Zealand in December and I got the products early February. So I managed to purchase and get my hands on a few of these devices and I've been trialing them in the home for a few weeks now, just long enough to see how they behave out of the launch day demos. They're affordable, they're widely available, but affordability and availability doesn't mean that they're going to be good. So we're going to test those out. So I've got a few of these devices behind me and we will start with the KLIPPBOK, which is IKEA's water leak detection sensor. Not the most exciting sensor, but it's the most underrated sensor in a smart home. It's one of those devices that just tends to be forgotten about. Not the most exciting sensor, but it's a very important sensor. So it's not flashy. By itself, it doesn't turn lights on or respond to voice commands. Just sits there quietly. But it may be one of the most important devices you install. It's one of those things that in most homes, there are a few little spots that we don't think about. Under sinks, next to dishwashers, in the laundries, in the bathrooms, and in the cupboards next to hot water cylinders. So as we know, a light turning on it during the night is annoying, but waking up to find that you've had a slow water leak can cost a lot of money. So that's why this category really does matter. Now, on the market, there's a lot of water leak sensors that are available. But the reason I want to try this one is because it removes a number of friction points. First of all, it's affordable, and that's really important because water leak protection really works when you've got multiple devices. So if you find that these are expensive, then most people only buy one, if at all, and that will defeat the purpose of what you're trying to achieve. So here's the device here, nice and small. Now, the other important reason is batteries. This runs on 2 AAA batteries. I find devices with coin cell batteries just don't seem to be that reliable. So we know that AAA batteries are easy to find and easy to replace. And the great thing is that you can actually install rechargeable batteries. So IKEA also sell the rechargeable batteries. Unfortunately, they were out of stock when I did my purchase. So when you order these, you can purchase the chargers and the storage, battery storages. So you can build out your battery storage at the same time. So if you're deploying multiple devices, that's where thinking about your battery system is really important. And that's the great thing about the IKEA at the moment. They're running with a standard AA and AAA battery range. And because it's running Matter over Thread, the battery life is really good with Thread and the ecosystems it supports wide range. So the Google, the Apple, the Amazon, Home Assistant. So it's not flashy, it's practical. And that's something you want when you're trying to protect your home. So what we're going to do now is we're going to show you how to pair it into Apple Home. Then we'll do some quick tests with it. Right, let's have a look at the KLIPPBOK. Straight out of the box, very nice packaging. And QR code to get to the manual, which is awesome, easy access. Along with that is obviously the KLIPPBOK, the manual, and on the manual here we've got the Matter QR code. The device is nice and simple and easy to get into. Open up the backing, we can see the AAAs here, and if we actually look on the side, here's the Matter QR code. Just place some batteries in here. Great thing about these is that by default it goes into pairing mode for 15 minutes, and if you don't pair it within that 15 minutes, press the pairing button once. If for whatever reason you need to reset this device, if you press and hold this button, it'll start flashing red, and once it finishes flashing red, the unit has been reset and goes back into pairing mode, so it will start sending pulse. There we go, so it's ready to be paired. So let's go grab our phone and we'll open up Apple Home and simply go add a device, add an accessory, and then we just scan the QR code. Go at the home, and we will see it finishing stop pulse, and it'll flash twice once it's actually connected. There we go, so it's now available. And there we go, we now say we're going to put it in the kitchen, and we'll just call it kitchen, because we're only going to have one in there. Actually, we'll put under sink, eh? Put under sink. Continue. Right, so here we go. Done. And we go into kitchen. We can see here the leak sensor. It says under sink. No leak detected. We can see the battery life. It's not active at the moment. Cool. So why don't we quickly test this? So mimic a burst pipe, but obviously we'll just have a slow leak. Going until it's stopped leaking. So it's pretty responsive. When that by the time we get the alert straight through to Apple Home. So let's go have a look at the product page online. As you can see, this is a KLIPPBOK leak sensor. We're on the US site at the moment, so currently $7.99. We jump over to New Zealand, that's about $8.99. With IKEA, we can look at getting the Lada rechargeable battery pack. IKEA also have this battery chargeable storage for your different batteries with the ability to go and charge your AA's and AAA's again. So we want to now get this sensor into Home Assistant. We'll do it through the desktop here just to show you. So integrations, add integration, add Matter device, and it's already in use, Apple Home. Now we go over to our Apple Home, we grab the leak sensor properties, all the way down, go turn on pairing mode. And we can see the code there. Go to and we go add device. And we can see that it's now added into another home assistant. And there we go. The water leak is dry. Now we'll just go test that. Wet my finger. All the black straight away. Do that again. Immediate. Now that we've got the leak sensor inside Home Assistant, we can do a bit more powerful logic. As you saw before in the Apple ecosystem, just like the other ecosystems, it's great for instant alerting. But now that we're in Home Assistant, we can actually do some more actionable items. So we'll go over to our automations, and hopefully this will give you some ideas of what you can look at doing. In this scenario, we've got the leak detector sitting underneath the sink, and that's right next to the dishwasher pipes. In that scenario, the leak sensor has hit wet. Then what we need to do is we need to do a few things. First of all, we go and override the kitchen light switch. By turning that override on, means that no other automation is going to go and override it. So if we've got now changing our light colors to blue, all of a sudden we're not going to walk in there and find that, hey, the lights are turned off or it's just turned back to normal. So the blue is our indicator that there's water. Then we go and set a notification comes to my phone. Then we go and turn the kitchen lights on and we'll set those to blue. We perform a text-to-speech alert through to our dining speaker, giving it the warning. And if we find that the plug has got power on it, so the plug that's got the dishwasher on has got power against it, then what we could do for safety, we'll go turn that plug off. Obviously, it's going to depend on your dishwasher or your appliance. Some appliances, they don't like being turned off, but again, this is for a water safety. We'll just turn that off. And then we've created another automation that goes, hey, when it's turned to dry, turn those lights back off, turn the override off so then the lights can be back to normal. Send an alert to my phone to say that it's dry again. And what we're doing is we're leaving the power off the dishwasher just for safety. We'd manually go turn that back on. So one will go through now and we'll show a practical test of that. Right, I've got the leak sensor here. Put a bit of water in the dish. First thing we'll do is we'll just go turn off the sensor leak notification, just so it doesn't jump in the way. Cool. Right, and ready, so the lights are on normal. As you can see,
Warning, water leak detected under the kitchen sink. Please check immediately.
So I got the notification on the phone. The speaker made an announcement. Obviously, I'll do that through the rest of the house. I've just dried this off. And so the other automation to reset is when the unit's dry for 30 seconds. So if we just wait 30 seconds. So after 30 seconds of being dry, so we'll change that variation. The lights will just flick back to normal. So it's gone back to normal. So we'll just test it again. Got the sensor dry, lights are normal, everything's normal. We go and wet that.
Warning, water leak detected under the kitchen sink. Please check immediately.
So we've had the notification on the speakers. We put the notification throughout the rest of the speakers. We've got the notification on my phone and I put it on other devices as well. And when currently the reset automation is when the unit is dry for 30 seconds, it'll switch back to normal. And now it's gone back to normal. So that's the basic automation for that. So hopefully it's given you some ideas. So there we have it. It's affordable, it's reliable, quick to respond, easy to put into your smart home. So leak detection shouldn't be an optional part in your smart home. So it's one of those devices that won't just save you dollars, it would also save you damage. So whatever ecosystem, put in Apple, Google, whatever, it's one of these devices is a must. I think at the price, you should just get one of these at least. So in the next video, we'll go and grab one of these other devices and we'll put it through its test and we'll see how that stacks up. Until then, thanks for watching this video and we'll catch you next time.